What up, what up, what up? It is K.Honesty, and I'm about to review Power Book 2, Season 3, Episode 9. So if you haven't seen the 9th episode of Power Book 2, Season 3, turn this video off right now and go watch the episode. Yeah, anything I say is my opinion, it's my feelings. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my thoughts and expressions and how I feel. What else? I am not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter, pause. You're gonna hear me say like 1,000 times, so like 1,000 times. When I say pause, it means I'm literally pausing what I'm saying. I know some people say pause and they mean no homo. If I mean no homo, I'm just gonna say no homo. But yeah. Yeah, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It literally takes less than like 5 seconds, and it's easy, free, and helpful towards supporting me. So I'm gonna give you a quick second to go do that. Literally takes less than 5 seconds. All right, cool. What else? I do like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. And yeah, I'm gonna grade this episode a fucking A plus. A plus, A plus, because we got to see Tommy and Tasha, so I'm like A plus. And side note, I know that they leaked the last 2 episodes of Power, but I felt like if I watched them both now, I wouldn't have nothing to watch. So I'm gonna review them as they would have came out on Stars. So Episode 9 came out on Stars today. So that's why I'm reviewing it today. I usually wait the day after to review the show, but to review shows. I usually wait till the day after they air, but I feel like since the 2 episodes is already leaked, I feel like I can do it the day of that it comes out. So I know episode 10 is already out, but I won't be doing my review for that until next Friday when it was supposed to come out. Yeah, plus I haven't watched episode 10 yet, so I'm only going off what I seen on episode 9 on this review. So yeah, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna be drinking out of my handy dandy water bottle. Wasn't expecting that water to be so good. Ooh. Did I forget anything to say anything? Excuse me. I don't think so. Okay, yeah, last chance. If you haven't seen the 9th episode of Season 3 of Power Book 2 Ghost, turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. And I don't want you in the comments saying, you spoiled it. I thought this was something else. No. Gave you 2 chances to turn this video off if you haven't seen the episode. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so, why's my eye itching? Oh, okay. So this episode was crazy. That's why I said I give it an A plus. This was a good episode. So the first scene is in Davis's office, and we get a whole fight scene. I was just like, bruh. That was like, they starting off good though. So it's right after Theo done killed Sax. We at Davis's office. I don't know where Davis is at this moment, but because he was with Tariq. But I remember saying last episode, Davis really can't be blamed for something his brother did. I mean, yeah, he told his brother Sax was hot, which made his brother go out and kill Sax. But I was like, shit, if he plays cards right, just tell Tariq to get the hell out of there, call the police, tell him, my brother did something without my knowledge, this, that, and third. So I was assuming that was a part of what they did because Tariq was not with Davis when he got to Davis's office. So he going in there looking through files. He pick up a file like, what the fuck is this? I immediately already knew it was Whitman's file that they got from out of his place. So then Kane come up looking for Davis because he was calling Davis. Davis wasn't answering, trying to tell him about Alfie. I said about Alfie. I meant trying to tell him about Effie when they got to his office. When he got to his office. So they both is at Davis' office. So Kane tells Tariq about Lauren. He was like, you set Effie up. So I was like, oh shit. You know Kane, he just loved to have a reason to beef with Tariq. So this was easy. This was easy for him. Like I said, I always understand both sides of a story. So I get why Kane, Effie, and Brayden did what they did as far as the Lauren situation. And I get why Tariq was mad, or I get why Tariq didn't want to kill her. I get both sides, so it is what it is. But So he was like, you set Effie up, Tariq. So Tariq was like, why would I do that when I know it can fall back on me? And Kane was like, that's because you always want to act like T'Challa. And I was just like Kane's little references when he be saying shit, it be funny as hell. But sometimes I be like, what the hell? You just be randomly coming out with this shit. I was like, where the hell you get T'Challa from? But either way, he says, he was like, that's because you want to act like T'Challa, but you let pussy get in the way all the time. So I guess he's saying he want to act like he a king or whatever, but he always letting women come in between what he's supposed to get done or whatever. So Tariq was like, speaking in past, I don't know why he was speaking in past tense. I was like, it don't even matter now. Everybody knows she alive. Except for Brayden at this one moment. So he was like, why would I do that when I know it would fall back on me? And Kane was like, cause you think you T'Challa, but you let pussy get in the way, all that other shit. I just thought that was funny. So like I said, Tariq speaking in past tense, so I was like, kind of pointless now, but it is what it is. So he was like, Lauren wasn't going to say anything. He was like, all this shit happened because you, Effie, and Brayden did the shit that y'all wanted to do y'all way, this, that, and the third. So Kane was like, me? Like you fucked up our family. He was like, everything fucked up that happened in our family is because of your ass since we met you, this, that, and the third. Low-key, not completely wrong. He's not completely wrong. So I was like, oh man, what is about to go at? So Tariq was like, my nigga, you been obsessed with me since I started fucking with your family. What'd he say? Tariq was like, nigga, you been obsessed with me since I met y'all. He was like, you want to be me. That's why you started fucking with Effie. And I was like, in a way. In some ways, I feel like in some ways Kane wish he was like as street smart as Tariq, cause he not. But like jealous of Tariq, I don't know. I feel like he's jealous of the relationship that Monet and Tariq has, but I don't think he's necessarily jealous of Tariq. He might be jealous of the way Tariq handles like street business, probably. Like when they came in, when Kane came in last episode and was like, what is this like what is this scrawny nigga one-on-one on how to beat a Rico or some shit? So I feel like he just be hating on the way Tariq can come up with a plan so easily, quickly, stuff like that, and he can like actually follow through. So he's like, yeah, you been jealous of me, my nigga. That's why you start fucking with Effie. So then Kane, he hit the thank you so much for leaving, what'd he say? He said, thank you so much for leaving Effie in pieces so a real nigga like me could come pick up the pieces, some shit like that. I was like, okay. I was like, but the difference between Tariq and Kane, like, I ain't even gonna hold you. I was kind of against it at first, but I feel like Kane and Effie was meant for each other. They was meant for each other, but you know, Effie, she's still feeling Tariq. And we see that in this episode. So he was like, he was like, thank you so much for leaving her in pieces for the real nigga like me to come pick up pieces. And Tariq swings on Kane and misses. I was like, come on, Tariq. This nigga's so street smart, so business savvy, all that good shit. But when it come to wrecking, that nigga just be getting his ass whooped. This is not the first time Tariq got his ass whooped, bruh. Mind you, most of the time it be niggas that's bigger than him, but like, come on, Tariq, you gotta get your lick back. They had the nerve to be beating the fuck out of Brayden last episode before last? But then you let Kane beat your ass. But that's what they meant. Like, remember when Tariq first kicked Brayden and Effie out of the business, and Kane asked Brayden, why you think Tariq ain't kicked me out of the business? And Brayden was like, cause he know you'll kill him. So yeah, it's just like they be scary towards each other. Like they know who to try and shit. Like Tariq know to try. He know to beat the fuck out of Brayden, but sit up here and yeah, he fighting back Kane, but you getting your ass beat. So I was just like, okay. So they started tussling or whatever. Yeah, they started tussling. Then Davis comes in. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this about? So Kane tells Davis about Effie. He's like, we need to get her up out of there, this, that, and the third. So in that moment, I thought Davis already knew about Effie being locked up because, you know, they had this whole plan to set her up. So I'm thinking that this was part of their plan too, but they just didn't let everybody know this part of it. So I'm thinking like, oh, Davis ain't gonna do nothing about that. He part of the plan. But then he was like, I'll take care of it. And Kane leaves. So he actually is going to take care. I mean, well, he actually is going to see about Effie. I thought he wasn't going to do it because him and Tariq had this thing where they were going to set up Effie, but I was wrong about that. I mean, they set her up that part to throw the feds off, but they didn't set her up for this thing with Lauren. This was all like basically Jenny and them. Like they had this in their back pocket anyway. I just realized I wasn't even smoking. So Kane leaves, and then it was just Tariq and Davis in Davis' office. Tariq was like, yeah, thank you for letting me get up out of there before the cops came. So I was like, okay, so he did let Tariq leave. I was like, there was no point for Tariq to be there. It would have looked more suspicious or whatever. Tariq leaves. Davis could just be like, hey, I tracked my brother here. And, because wasn't that the little place where, I think they was at the place. Because remember, Davis was like, when we told his brother, he told Theo, when we get you out of here, I'm going to take you to the place we went as kids. So I think that's where they was at. So David could just be like, look, I misspoke. I was drunk. I told my brother that I found out Sax was an informant. He took it upon himself to go kill Sax. Had nothing to do with it. Had a feeling he was going to do something. Found them there. Found them both there dead. Tariq not being there makes the story more credible. Makes it more believable. So I was like, I understood why he told Tariq to leave. So Davis was like, I answered all the cops' questions. He was like, they know that Theo acted on his own, and none of it will come back. None of us will receive any legal fallout for it. That's what Davis tells Tariq. So I was like, yeah. I was like, it's pretty simple. Because, like, last episode, Tariq was like, if Sax dies, we're fucked. Like, I get it, but if the way he died last episode, really, you're really not. Because, like, just like the way he just played it. He said, I told him my brother acted on his own. Like, that's the smart way to go. Like, what else can you do? I mean, Jenny and Blanca ain't going to buy it, but what can the NYPD do? Especially since Blanca and Jenny and them trying to get this RICO case off the ground. Not a lot of people even know about the RICO case. So it's not like... So it was just like, of course they would get away with that part. And then in this moment, Davis hands Tariq a drink. And I'm like, out of these whole 3 seasons, have we ever seen Tariq like get super drunk or tipsy? I feel like every time I see somebody offer him a drink, he says no. And it might not even be necessarily because he doesn't drink. It's probably because, like, Tariq is, like, a very careful young nigga. So I feel like he probably just don't be wanting to drink with everybody, be wanting to be on his P's and Q's. But I was at the same time, like, I ain't never seen Tariq take a drink on this show. I could be wrong. He probably did, but I was just like, they probably just doing that, like, just to do it. Because I was like, why is he giving him a drink? Scotch at that. Nigga Tariq ain't drinking no scotch. So Davis gets to talking about, you know, Sax definitely deserved a bullet. Theo shouldn't have been the one to do it, though. She was like, look, I know losing a brother is no words for it. Because, I mean, Tariq understand. He lost his sister. So he kind of gets it. So Davis tried to change the subject. He asked Tariq if he had any luck finding Tasha and Yaz and Estelle, his grandmother. So, mind you, I just found out the grandmother name this episode, child. So Tariq was like, nah, I ain't had no luck finding them. Davis was like, well, you know, Sax probably was bluffing. He probably just was trying to play his last card because he knew everybody was on his ass, this, that, and the third. So then Tariq tells Davis about the police file that he found in Whitman's, not Whitman's. He found Whitman's police file of Lorenzo in Sax's office. He tells Davis that where am I? Yeah, so Davis goes to his desk, pulls out his copy of the file. I knew that copy was gonna bite him in the ass. Because when Monet was saying she was getting rid of her file because she didn't want nothing to come back on her, he was like, that's smart. But the whole time, your dumb ass had a copy in your damn office. I mean, imagine you didn't know you had an informant working for you, but still, like, that's still weird when you know you defending the person that just killed Whitman and you got his files from his personal home or whatever in your office. That's risky, Davis. So I knew that shit was going to bite him back in the ass. So he shows Tariq the copy. He was like, did the file look like this? Tariq was like, it looked exactly like that. So David was like, fuck. He was like, tells Tariq this witness case file on Monet. Tariq was like, what is she steal or something? Davis was like, I mean, he basically said yes, but he said like some lawyer shit. What did he say? Oh, I wrote it. He was like, it was procured on Monet's behalf. So basically like, yes. So Davis was like, and I made a copy for leverage just in case Monet's murdering ass, no, he said I made a copy as leverage against Monet. So Tariq was like, what you mean like what you mean leverage? Davis was like, well, it proves Monet had motive to do dirt, like kill Lorenzo. He tells Tariq, he was like, you don't even want to know all the shit that they could prove, whatever. So Davis tells Tariq, like, if Sachs had that file, then you know the feds got it. He was like, this could fuck us for real. So Tariq, he takes the documents from Davis. Davis like, what you doing? And Tariq was like, I'm hiding them so it don't come back to fuck us. And in that moment, I was like, Tariq is a sneaky motherfucker. He gonna use those docs for something. And then when we get to the end of this episode, because I mean, spoiler alert, if you watch the episode, then you know at the end, Tommy tells Tasha that Monet was the one that gave him the info of where they was at. So I was like, why Monet doing that sneaky shit? I'm wondering if she did that before or after she got the note from Sachs saying that Tariq was working with the feds. If she did that afterwards, and I kind of get it, but it's still like you told Diana to get proof, so why would you do some shit like that before getting proof? But a part of me feel like she did that way before she got that note from Sachs. I feel like she just trying to cut Tariq, like, his loose ends or something. I don't know. But I was just like, damn, why Monet do that? Why Monet do that snake ass shit? But in that moment, I was like, well, now that Tariq knows, because Tariq was listening when he heard Tommy say that. So I was like, well, now Tariq know this, and he got that foul on Monet ass. I was like, I wonder how he gonna play it now. But I should have left that for my predictions at the end of this review. But it is what it is. I just wanted to bring that up. But so he was like, yeah, I'm gonna Tariq tells Davis, I'm gonna hide the docs. He was like, as far as Sachs concerned, you continue to tell the feds you don't know what was going on with him. Davis was like, all right, bad. He was like, let me go handle this Effie situation. And in that moment, I thought Tariq was going to be like, oh, nah, let her ass sit in there or some shit like that. But he was like, nah, go do that. So I was like, okay, so they don't want her in there for Lauren's attempted murder. So I was like, so Tariq, what was the point of you recording her, giving her confession, and then letting Lauren play it? The whole reason her getting locked up is because Lauren ID'd her and shit. So it was just like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what Tariq's end game is. And I know motherfuckers probably already say episode 10. Like I said, I didn't watch episode 10 yet. I won't watch it until Friday when it was supposed to come out. So it is what it is. But I want to know what Tariq's end game is as far as Effie's concerned. So Davis pissed after Tariq walk off. He slammed his damn drawer to the floor or some shit. Poor Davis, he just going through it. He about to get charged with the RICO too, and he just lost his brother. So they got Effie and Holding. She already solid in that bitch. She just yelling attorney. That's the only word she giving their ass, attorney. And that's how you supposed to do it. I hate when people get in there and be like, I'm not talking to you guys. This, that, and the third. You shouldn't have to say, it shouldn't be no words coming out your mouth except for that one word, attorney. Attorney. That's it. Like, I hate when people say, you shouldn't be saying nothing else but attorney. Like, that's it. They gonna use anything against you if you ain't got your lawyer in the room. So Effie already attorney. They escorted her to Holden. It was like, yeah, you get what you say? You call for an attorney when it's your turn. Effie was like, oh, you're too kind. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be. I was like, I don't know why they thought it was gonna be so easy to break Effie. I guess because, like they said in the last episode, she don't have no record, and she in school making good grades. Then Thursday, they probably thought she wasn't gonna be like this solid ass, like how she is. Cause they don't got too much info on Effie's personality. They just go off what they know from like tracking her and Tariq or whatever. So so Blanca and Jenny, they kind of gut. They like, this is not working. She's not breaking. And then they both get a page about Sax. Jenny comes in the morgue to view his body. She weeping, crying. I was like, girl, what you thought was gonna happen? Like, you don't want to talk about something. You don't want to tell them on the phone. Oh, I can't. I mean, granted, she thought that he set up the whole the raid for them to get fucked or whatever, but she was like, I can't protect you now. This, that, and the third. So like, what you thought was gonna happen? I guess she thought Tariq and them wasn't gonna kill Sax. I mean, they didn't. Ain't nobody see Leo coming from left. I mean, I said Leo. Ain't nobody see Theo coming from left field and killing Sax. I know I didn't. So I was like, damn. So with this next scene, we are finally introduced to Medina, who is Blanca's boss. So I was like, because I kept wondering, like, who the hell is Medina? Because remember they took Lauren to the federal building and was like, she was like, let me go talk to Medina, and then you bring Lauren up. That scene where Lauren and Tariq was in the bathroom and Lauren told Tariq that Sax was hot. So we finally get introduced to Medina. He comes in like this, I guess in the room where they working on the Rico case. Blanca's in there. Jenny's in there, and the little agent that found the little baggie at Weston Holden's trash can, he was in there too. I don't remember. They said his name this episode, but I was like, ain't no need to write it down because there's only one episode left. I'm gonna be good if he is in the next episode, and I'm gonna be like, damn. But hopefully he's not, and it won't even be worth learning his name. But so they all come in there. I mean, so they all in there. But Dana comes in and says that the camera showed that Theo intercepted Sax in the parking lot, which I thought was weird because I could have swore. I'm wondering how did they see that, because Theo got to jump on Sax in his car. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe they zoomed in and saw him in the back seat. I don't know. Or maybe they saw Theo getting into Sax's car before Sax got there. And so that's what they meant. But the way he worded it, it made it seem like he jumped him. Like he caught him off guard in the parking lot and pulled the gun on him and all that. But either way. So he says that, and then the little agent dude that's in there, he was like, so that means, he was like, well, Davis was in his office with a solid alibi. So that means he couldn't have been. So Blanca was like, nah. She was like, nah, Theo and Davis, they could have planned this. She said they could have planned this together. She said they could have made Sax before the raid. Medina was like, well, that do make sense. That could explain why we came up empty. It was like, they probably fed Sax some bullshit. So Blanca, she still can't stand Sax, even in the grave. She's like, fuck that. She's like, I told this dumbass asshole. And Jenny, she feeling the feelings now that he gone. So she's like, watch your fucking mouth, Blanca. So I'm like, oh shit, we about to see a shift in their relationship now that Sax gone. So Blanca was like, we're just gonna act like Sax wasn't dirty, like I was trying so hard not to cough. I'm trying to drink some water. So Blanca was like, we're going to just sit right here and act like Sax wasn't dirty. Like we just going to take back all the dirty shit he did and wipe his slate clean. So Jenny, she was like, Sax sacrificed his life for this case, and we could at least, what she say? Oh yeah, she was like, Sax sacrificed his life for this case, and there is no investigation without Sax, and this, that, and third. She was like, his involvement with the case was their ties to Tariq, and now they lost that. So then Medina get that, well, boy, y'all gonna have to dig into Effie harder. And then he was like, if Effie don't flip, man, we are done. We are fucked. So everybody feel like they fucked. It's like, yes. They love saying that shit on here. We're fucked. So then we get the same poor little Brayden, bruh. Like, Brayden can't never catch a break, bruh. They just be beating the shit out of Brayden. Poor little Brayden, bruh. Sometimes he deserve it, sometimes he don't. Because Brayden got toughened up. You was the main one geeking to get this operation back up and running. And now y'all doing it. Mind you, y'all have to do it now because Noma and them threatening y'all peoples. But at the same time, now y'all doing this business and shit, but you not making the moves the way you supposed to be, Brayden. You not, bruh. You got to start putting in a little more work. You gotta be ready for this type of shit if this is what you want to do. So I be understanding when Kane and people and Effie and them be coming at him about that part. But at the same time, he a scary white dude. So it's like, what can you do? Black people just built for it more. I mean, not saying it like that. We shouldn't have to be. We shouldn't have to be, but we built for whatever, you know? We built for whatever. Okay? Don't play with my people. Built for whatever. Anyway. So we get this scene with Kane and Brayden. Kane pulls up on Brayden and kind of like runs him over with the door of his car. And I was just like, Brayden, why you ain't get out the way? You saw him speed into your ass. He waving and shit like Kane can't see him and shit. I'm like, come on, Brayden. He basically let the nigga run you over with his door. So Kane get out the car. He was like, let me ask you something, Brayden. He was like, you a narc? Brayden was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So Kane was like, did you know Lauren was alive? And Brayden was like, what? So Kane pulled his gun out on him. He was like, damn, my eye is itching. So Kane was like, Effie looked out for your incompetent ass and had to take care of your, what you was supposed to do. He was like, I know you was dead, so what happened with Lauren? So Brayden finally admits to Kane that he was not indeed there, in fact there. He tells him that Effie rode off on his ass, knocked Lauren out, and drove off with her. Drove off on him with her. I think she pulled some trick bag to get him out the car, and then she pulled off. I think that's what happened. I can't remember, but well, knowing Brayden's sweet ass, she probably just pulled off on him and said, "No, I'm doing this." But Brayden tells Kane all this. He was like, whatever happened that night, only Lauren and Effie know. Which is crazy, because it's like, damn. It's going to be Lauren word against Effie's. So Kane tells Brayden that Lauren ID'd Effie. He saw it himself. Brayden was like, well, what we gonna do? He was like, I need to go to a hospital now. Kane was like, yeah, you do that. Got in the car and pulled off on his dumb ass. Side note, does Brayden have a car? You would think he's a Western. He usually has a car, right? I feel like I've seen him get out of a car before. I know he drives because when he went to make that gun exchange with them crazy white rednecks, he was definitely driving, but I don't think he was driving his car. I don't know. Does Brayden have a car? I don't have to figure it out. Speaking of car, there's a funny scene at the end, towards the end of this. I would bring it up later. Fuck it. So this is the scene where so Monet in the kitchen, Diana comes in there. Monet opens this letter that she gets from Sachs, and in the letter it says that Tariq is working with the feds. Monet was like, I don't believe this bullshit, tosses the letter, but Diana picks it up and was like, wait, maybe we should continue reading. So then Diana continues reading and was like, oh, maybe he's not too far off. She was like, the letter says that Tariq set me up to be arrested. She was like, that's not too far off because Tariq was the one that told me about the product in about putting the product in the course correct lockers. And I was like, girl, Tariq didn't even know about the cameras. He ain't been up there since before Brayden admitted to selling drugs on campus and open trial. So I was like, Tariq genuinely probably didn't know about the cameras. But it's also kind of on Tariq too, because it's like, if you know that that Brayden just outed this whole operation, why would you think it would be okay to send her up there with drugs to where y'all used to have y'all shit at? You should know that it would be somebody at least up there watching, or something, camera or something up there. So that's why I be like, sometimes Tariq be dumb. I be like, sometimes he be dumb. But either way, Tariq didn't know about the cameras. So Monet was like, well, we got to be sure first. So she tells Diana, she was like, this could be a setup. She tells Diana to go see what she can find out. And that was the wrong thing to do, because Diana went searching and found out some shit that Monet didn't want her to find out. But she didn't want to tell Diana, go searching. This could be a setup. And I was like, come on, Monet, you know it's a setup. Because you know that Saxe was hot before he got knocked off. So you knew he was hot. So of course he's sending out these letters trying to stir some shit up from the grave. Which I thought was wild on Saxe's behalf. I was like, that's crazy. He sent letters to everybody. So Brayden's in the hospital. Brayden ass in the hospital. Poor Brayden, bruh. But at the same time, like I said, ain't no poor Brayden, nigga. You asked for this life. So anyway, Brayden, he's in the hospital. Tariq shows up. He's like, what the fuck happened? Brayden's like, Kane went all Suge Knight on me. I was like, bruh, these niggas be funny and shit with their little references. They be hilarious, bruh. Like last episode, Brayden was like YSL Rico? They be funny. So Brayden was like, Kane went all Suge Knight on my ass because he found out about Lauren being alive. I mean, because he found out Lauren was alive. So Tariq was like, yeah, I just got into it with that nigga too earlier. So that's when Brayden was like, well, I understand why he would come at me because I lied to him, but why would he come at you? Then Tariq get quiet and Brayden finally realizes, he was like, oh, that's because you knew. And I was like, come on, Brayden, you should have known when he came and beat your ass out, coming out the elevator. When he first found out, you should have knew. When he first found out about Effie and them killing, Effie and them killing her. Fake killing her, whatever. Yeah, so Brayden was like, yeah, so you knew. That's how you found out with me. That's how you knew what me and Effie did. So Tariq was like, yeah, I knew, but why the fuck would I tell the motherfuckers that tried to take her out? I was like, point, but I mean, Brayden yeah. Because Brayden can't hold water, so I understand why Tariq ain't tell nobody, of course. Because Kane would have tried to kill her, would have tried to do something, or kill Tariq just for even not wanting to try to kill her. And he would have told Monet, who also would have tried to kill her. Told Effie would have tried to kill her. Brayden, he wouldn't have tried to kill her, but he would have told somebody that would have tried to kill her. So, of course, we know why Tariq didn't tell nobody. So he was like, why would I tell the people that tried to take her out? Brayden was like, how many times I tried to tell you, bro? I tried to save Lauren. Then Brayden was like, well, now Effie's locked up, and she only cares for herself. I think he said numero uno or some shit. Tariq was like, yeah, that's why we need to think about our next move. So Brayden was like, it is no next move. Not after what you did with Crash Coin and the feds and all that. Tariq was like, well, it needed to be done. He tells Brayden that, oh yeah, I found out Noma's number 2 name too. His name is Obi. Found out his name on this episode too. I feel like his name was necessary to know because I feel like we gonna see more of him in this last episode probably too. So his name's Obi. I was calling him Noma's number 2 because he like Noma's number 2. So his name is Obi. So Tariq tells Brayden you need to reach out to Obi and tell him we're not gonna make the quota for now. And I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be a problem. I was like, I don't think no one of them gonna give a fuck. Because Mecca was getting shit done. But you gotta remember, Mecca was like a top level informant. So of course he was able to get shit moving and stuff because he had he had the cooperation with the feds. But Tariq and them, they getting investigated, so it's just like it's different. But they told Noma and them they could do it. I mean, of course they was held at gunpoint, but I mean, hey. So he tells tell OB we ain't gonna be able to make quota for now. Tariq was like, you know what, never mind, I'll do the shit. I was like, why you even telling Braden to do anything? Especially that part. He tells Braden, he was like, well, do something. He was like, go to Western Holdings or something. I was like, there you go. Make him do something what he can actually do. Yeah, Braden talk about something. Can I get a day of rest? I'm like, nigga, no. Big time drug dealers don't get no damn day of rest, you wild nigga. That's your problem. Like, you want rest and you want to not be able to hold water and like, come on, Braden. So yeah, Braden was like, can I get a day of rest? And Tariq was like, well, what happens when your shady ass uncle, it was like shady ass Lucas, pulls a move and backs out of our deal? Because you want to take a day of rest. Braden was like, fine, I'll go see Lucas. So Tariq leaves out of Braden's hospital room, calls Lauren. He was like, he left a message like, look, Effie got locked up. I need to know if the Fed's coming for the rest of us. I was like, nigga, yes, they are. Y'all threw them off y'all scent for a little while with that whole distracting them with Effie. But yes, they're still coming after your ass. They don't really even want Effie. You should know that. But I feel like he just trying to see what Lauren knows now. And I don't think Lauren gonna respond when it comes to that shit. It's the girl that tried to kill her. And Tariq, you claim you wasn't involved, and you claim that you care, and you brought the audio message of her confession and all that. So I think when it comes to this instance, Lauren ain't gonna try to hear what you trying to say, bitch. Okay, so remember last episode, one of the Castillo brothers showed Evelyn the video of Drew bawling out about Gordo to Everett. So Evelyn, she comes to Monet's bar. She was like, where's Drew? And Monet was like, he's not here. So Evelyn was like, well, it's a video going around, and it's of Drew. Monet was like, do I look like a fucking YouTuber to you? Evelyn was like, stop lying, bitch. And Monet was like, excuse me? Who the fuck you think you talking to and all that, you know? She was like, you out your fucking mind? Evelyn was like, I know that video was a confession. And I'm wondering, like, has Monet even seen the video? Because it supposedly had went viral, but like she said, like, Monet might not even be on, like, stuff like that to even see it. So Monet was like, Drew already told you that he don't know what happened to Gordo. So Evelyn was like, you admitted you took my Frank from me. Monet was like, I ain't admit shit. I just told you that I told you what Lorenzo wanted. So Evelyn was like, I was like, yeah, you did that and now Lorenzo is dead. Monet steps closer and was like, yeah, and then you had something to do with that? And I'm just like, girl, you know that you and her son was in canoodles to kill Lorenzo. Step back, girl. I was like, poor Evelyn. She just keep coming, trying to be peaceful with Monet. Monet people just keep knocking her family off. And if I was just like, poor Castillo family in this episode, I was just like, that's another reason why I give it an A+. The whole Castillo family, sheesh. But she was like, yeah, you had something to do with that? So Evelyn was like, you know I didn't. I was like, so she don't even know that Gordo killed Lorenzo? Because I would think that would be something that Gordo confided in his mom. I don't know, but whatever. So Evelyn was like, I didn't even want to be beefing with the Tejadas, but it seems like you ain't even grieving your husband. This, that, and the third. Monet was like, man, what do you want? So Evelyn was like, I'm coming to you as a mother. She was like, I just want to know because my Gordo is missing. She's like, I don't know if he dead or alive. He might be somewhere and he might need my help. Monet colded him up. I don't know what to tell you. Mind you, her ass can't act, but he's like, I don't know what to tell you. So Evan was like, stop. Can you just forget the rules of the game for 1 minute and just and think about what if this was your son? And I was like, I get it, Evelyn, but at the same time, she's telling me, can you forget the rules of the game for 1 second? You can never forget the rules of the game. The game is the game. And that's how it's going to be played. Like, that's how it's going to go. You got to be a certain way. And Monet know that. So, unfortunately, Evelyn knows she cannot for 1 second forget about the rules of the game. Even when it came down to her own husband. She be out here threatening her own kids. Like, no. You telling the wrong person to forget the rules of the game for 1 second. No, it's not going to happen. So Evelyn was like, I just want to know what happened. Like, what if this was your son? I think I meant to put beef, but they probably spell checked it to put need. But Monet was like, she ain't had no beef with Gordo. She was like, last time she checked him and Drew was good. So that's when Evelyn tried to get rowdy a little bit. She was like, I granted you grace with Frank, but I won't let you get away with taking my son from me. So Monet was like, that sounds like a threat. Granted you grace. She was like, that sounds like a threat. And you don't want to threaten me. Like, you don't want to do that to yourself. Really don't. So Kane comes in. Evelyn leaves out. So Monet tells... I had some weed on my lip. So Monet tells Kane, she was like, they know. The Castillos know. They know Drew killed Gordo. Kane was like, damn, that's the last thing we need. Drew come out of nowhere. Monet was like, they not going to stop till they find your ass. Drew was like, this is my mess. He was like, I'll handle it. I was just like, poor Drew. Like, it's not really your mess. I mean, Monet, this was all a plan that Monet set up to get something. This is all Monet's doing for real. But Drew feels responsible. So he says, this is all my fault. I mean, this is all my mess. I'll handle it. He was like, we gotta take all of them out. And I was just like, sheesh, this is about to be a bloodbath. So I thought. But the way they did it was like genius. So Monet was like, just make sure it don't fall back on us. I was like, Monet don't even give a fuck that her boys out here got to kill a whole entire bloodline, generations. She talking about just make sure it don't come back on us. All to keep her secret. Or to keep her plan going the way it's like it's going accordingly. So Tariq, he pops up on Obi. Mind you, Obi is like torturing some nigga while he talking to Tariq, like pulling his teeth out one by one. Like, I can only imagine. I just got my tooth pulled like 2 weeks ago. I can only imagine getting that shit done without the numbness, without the anesthetic, all that geeky shit. Bruh. So I was just like, this nigga Obi is a wild nigga. So, I was trying so hard not to cough. That's what was taking me so long to talk. Because I knew exactly where I was at. So Tariq tells Obi that the what? Jeez. So Tariq tells Obi that the money they've been making from Wall Street is halted right now because all the heat on them with the feds. But he does state that all their other revenues, wherever else they getting their money coming in from, is still good though. Tells Obi all that. So Obi was like, this ain't your first misstep, Tariq. Probably talking about when he thought Tariq was trying to leave town with his grandmother or whatever. The whole time that was just a distraction to get his grandmother out of Dodge. But he was like, this hasn't been your first. He said this isn't your first misstep. He said something about, I think Tariq wanted to play gangster or something like that. I don't remember. So Tariq was like, look, I just don't want you at my neck. He was like, I promise with a little time, the quota will be met. You just got to give me a little time. So Obi was like, I'm going to, this nigga love talking shit. Even while he torturing the nigga, he talking shit. He says, I'm going to enjoy watching Noma kill you. It's like, I hope she takes her time. So Tariq was like, I can get you something you want. I can get you something that you want that Noma ain't get you or something like that. He was like, what I want only Noma can get for me. So, he trying to show his loyalness solid. Excuse me. So Tariq was like, what makes you so sure? I'm a resourceful little nigga. Which he is and is. He is. So Obi says that Noma's influence is the only way that his family could get green cards to come to America. He was like, so why would I betray her to help you? So I was like, that's all you need to get some green cards? Do you know who you're talking to right now? I was just like, really, nigga? Some green cards. I was just like, you could tell this nigga is not like, I was like, how long he been in America? Noma really got him out here thinking that he can't get green cards from any, like, common criminal. Bruh. I was like, not green cards. But anyway. So he was like, why would I betray her to help you? So Tariq was like, because I know how it feels to want your family back so bad, you'll do whatever it takes. Da-da-da, So Tariq was like, what if I can get you your green cards? He was like, can you stall Noma for a little while? And Obi gives him 72 hours, so see where that goes. But I was like, green cards, nigga? Like, really? So Tariq, he meets up with Tate. I think Tate said something else about, nigga, I can't be singing with your ass. He loves saying that shit. So he says, so Tariq says that you get these green cards for me, that'll be repayment for me boosting your numbers or whatever. And I was like, I thought boosting his numbers was repayment anyway for something else. I could have swore it was. I can't remember something. I can't remember that part, but he was like, "This be repayment for boosting your numbers." Tate was like, "Well, yeah, that raid gave my numbers a little boost, but I'm still behind my opponent. I'm assuming now his opponent's name is AVH, because Tariq's professor mentions the name too in the last episode. It was like AVH is right, so I'm assuming that's that woman opponent that he's against." So he's like, I'm still behind AVH in the polls or whatever, in the running. So Tariq was like, sounds like a you problem. So Tate was like, it's not if my continued association with you puts my campaign at risk. He's like, I'm going to need a bigger bite of the apple. They make Tate so shady, bro. Every time we see Tate, it's about some shady shit. They make him so shady. So Tariq was like, I'm already giving your ass $5K a week. And I forgot all about that. I forgot about that. When he first came to Tate. When did he first come to Tate? He first came to Tate about something. It was in this season. I cannot remember. But when he first came to Tate, Tate did tell him that he had to make donations to his campaign or some shit. He was like, all right, bet. Because Tate had some information that he wanted to know, that Tariq wanted to know. Oh, I think it was when Tate came to him about the feds. Told him about the feds coming asking about him. I think. I don't remember. Don't give me the line. I don't know. So he was like, I'm already giving your ass $5K a week. Tate was like, and you're still holding out on me. I was just like, bro, this nigga is just scandalous. He's scandalous. So then Tate gets the he was like, I heard Weston Holdings is doing dirt. Like, you know anything about that? Tariq was like, nah, they on the up and up. He was like, where you get that from? I was like, Tariq, don't ask too many questions. You know the nigga Tate, you know the type of nigga Tate is. But Tate was already on his P's and Q's. Tate was like, oh, here and there, you know. Tate was like, Weston Holdings wants to put me on payroll, but I just want to know what I'm working with before I agree to anything. He's like, you can understand that, right? He's like, you got anything you want to tell me? You know something? And Tariq was like, nah, Weston Holdings is legit. I feel like Tariq low-key trying to get Tate caught up, but Tate's too smart for that shit. He might be a scandalous nigga, but a scamming nigga, but he be on his shit. Like I said, a nigga know how to code switch. He know the business side and he know the street side. So Tariq was like, nah, they legit. He was like, look, man, you gonna give me them green cards on that. Tate was like, I'll see what I can do. So Tariq leaves, and then Tate, as Tariq leaves, Tate was like, lying motherfucker. So you know Tate ain't buying it. He probably like, dog, that's this nigga trying to get me caught up. But he calls the professor, Tariq's professor, the one he's dating. And I found out in this scene that her name is Harper. So now I know her scene. Now I know her name. Her name's Harper. I just been calling her Tariq's professor or the professor. So he calls her. He's still trying to plead his case to her. Because, you know, she not fucking with him after he still wanted to go meet with Lucas. After she told him not to. He said, after he told her he wasn't going to. I don't know why every time after I smoke, I be having to clear my throat like 1,000 times. I hate that. Even after I take a sip of water or something, it still do that. I'm about to put me a cup of coffee. Make me a cup of coffee. I got 2 more reviews to do after this. Lord Jesus. And I gotta go pick up my glasses, y'all. I gotta go pick up my glasses after I do these last 2 reviews. That way I won't be squinting while I'm reading these notes anymore. I have my glasses and I'll be good. So my next review won't be until like Monday. So I should have glasses then. But so then we get the scene. Tate meets up with Harper and some guy. I'm assuming the guy works for the SCC or he's like affiliated or something like that. He can get in those type of doors. They don't really give his title in that scene. But I'm assuming he's somewhere in the links of that. So Tate gets to telling him, like, I got this little dude I know. I can tell when he's lying. And when I asked him about Weston Holdings, he told me they was good, but I could just sense that there's something going on there. You know, he talking about Tariq, of course. So the guy that's there with Harper and Tate, he was like, yeah, I've been watching Weston Holdings for a while, and their numbers not adding up. Harper's like, well, how come Weston Holdings, how come their activities haven't been, how come they've been gone, how come they've been gone unnoticed by the SCC? So the guy was like, he was like, must be powerful lobbying, or just like, to be quite frank, they just paying the right people to look the other way. So Tate was like motherfucking Sweeney, like, cause remember at the debate, Robert, Braden's dad, because I found out Braden's dad name on this episode too, so his name is Robert. So if remember, Robert told Lucas, I don't think Tate gonna be like Sweeney. And I was like, damn, they already think Tate gonna win. They just ruling the woman out. But they was like, yeah, you know, they said that. So Tate was like, damn, so like Sweeney, that's who they had to pay to look the other way. So the guy was that's with Tate and Harper. He was like, that's probably why my many letters that I've sent have gone unanswered. He was like, I got the evidence, but nobody will listen to what I have to say. So that's when Tate was like, until now. I was like, look at him. He just trying to get Harper back. I was like, you can tell he must really want Harper. want Harper. So he's like, until now, he was like, with me behind you, they'll have to listen. So the guy was like, I get it, but he was like, but this, you doing this because it'll help your campaign, won't it? You doing this because it'll help your campaign too, right? Motherfuckers can read them shady politicians. So Tate was like, well, taking down Wall Street, it ain't a bad look, but it's also the right thing to do. So Harper was like, are you sure, Tate? Tate was like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, okay, we're going to see. And we see. We see towards the end of the episode. Sheesh, we see. So Davis, he comes to sit down with Effie. Effie was like, tell Tariq I don't need no lawyer, da-da. And Davis was like, well, Kane sent me too, so have a seat. so Effie was like, oh. She wasn't expecting that. So she sit down. So Davis was like, he was like, look, if you charged with attempted murder, you're going to lose. So it's basically just about how much time you're going to get. So Effie said something about, you smell like the bottom of a bottle. I don't even think you should be the attorney I should be even having. Or something like that. She was like, I don't think you're going to go to bat for me enough. So that's when Davis was like, well, I can refer you to somebody else. I was like, period, dumbass bitch. Like, he come in here trying to represent you. So then Effie was like, she got someone she could call. She just hasn't been able to make a phone call. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, big Effie got the attorney. She was in there like attorney. So I'm thinking, is it Davis whole time? big Effie got an attorney already. I wonder who her attorney is. I wonder who her attorney gonna be. So she was like, I have an attorney, just haven't been able to call him because the girls keep cutting me off in line or whatever. So Davis was like, well, just tell the guards. Or like she was like, the guards ain't doing nothing about it. So Davis was like, Effie was like, can they do that? And Davis was like, it's unethical as fuck, but it's also legal. So Davis was like, I'll have a word with the captain on my way out, like as a parting gift. So she don't even want Davis to represent her. I was like, okay. I wonder who her attorney is. I feel like that's gonna be some. I don't know. Is they gonna bring a new character in, or is it gonna be somebody that we already seen before? I don't know. We see Tamika in this episode, so what if? But so the FBI raids Weston Holdings. Tate moved quick as hell on that. I was like, wow, he really did it. So all the board members, they go into the conference room along with Brayden, Kiki, and Trace. They all go in there too. This is where I found out Brayden's dad name was Robert. He was like, why are we being accused of a fucking Ponzi scheme? So Kiki pulls Brayden aside, like, which one of y'all snitched? Because she know now that a couple of them know because they had that meeting with RSJ and all that. So Brayden was like, none of us snitched. Why would we do that? We had to deal with RSJ with Lucas. So everybody trying to figure out where Lucas is. Brayden asked Lucas where Kiki is. She was like, he slipped out and left me to hold the bag. Left me to hang. So she was like, you gonna turn me in, Brayden? I was like, Brayden not even that type of nigga, but like, it's like, fuck you, bitch. I don't like Kiki no more. Like, she did that to Brayden, that was fucked up. She already knew about him and stuff. It was kind of like, wow, bitch. So she was like, you gonna turn me in? Brayden was like, that depends on if you had an escape plan with Lucas in case shit went sideways. So Kiki was like, if we did, it wasn't this. Like, this wasn't the plan. So that's when Robert, he yells at Kiki, like, Kiki, where the fuck is Lucas at? So Kiki was like, I don't know anything, Robert. Like, I'm just as in the dark as you. Trace was like, oh, cut the bullshit. We all know you was fucking him. Trace do not care. Like, even after Kane took his ass to the hood to scare the shit out of his ass, this nigga do not care about the way he talked to people. So he was like, cut the bullshit. We all know that you all were fucking. And Kiki was like, Key was like, shut the fuck. She was like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Trace, and some other shit she said. So Braden was like, Dad, Trace is an idiot. He was like, Trace is an idiot. He was like, this is all Lucas's fault. He was like, I know because I seen the books and they was off. So Robert was like, so the accusations are real? So Braden was like, yeah. He was like, I asked Lucas about it, about the discrepancy. Lucas said he was going to handle it. He made me promise not to tell anybody, not even Kiki. So I was like, why you saving this bitch? Like, fuck her, bruh. I was like, by all means, don't snitch on Kiki or get her jammed up, but by all means, also don't help her neither, because she didn't give a fuck about you. So I was just like, whatever. But so like I said, Saxy sending out letters to everybody. So Jenny and Blanca, they're in Jenny's office. They say something briefly about, this is what they mentioned, the agent's name that found the baggie in Western Holdings. I don't know his name, but something about a surveillance video, something. Talking about not using it now, it's too early, something. They talked super brief about that. Didn't even go into detailed context, whatever. So Jenny, she sees this letter from Sax on her desk. She opens it. In a nutshell, it just basically says that he don't want her to feel guilty about her death, which she should, because she was partly responsible. Says that he loved her. He wanted to start a family with her. Then he tells her, like, to just basically tells her to, like, stop trying. Like, gives up. Says that they not worth it. Like, to others, Tariq and all them, not worth it. Davis and all them. So then Blanca reads the note, and she was like, oh, so you two really were a thing. And remember, she made that comment. She was like, did you two practice that in the tub? I thought she knew, but apparently she didn't. She was like, you two really were a thing. And Jenny was like, yes. She nods her head, yes. She was like, I'm not letting this go. She was like, I'm not letting this shit go. Like, I'm going to bury all of them. So mind you, Davis was just there talking to Effie. Jenny and Blanca, they come out the jump. They all on his ass. They was like, Davis, we want to come to you with a deal or something. So Davis was like, well, Effie opted out of being my client. So they was like, oh, we could see. We was like, well, I bet so. They was like, we know you had Sachs pay off a government official for Theo's release. And I was just like, why would they even start with that? Like, he just lost his brother. And y'all coming at him and talking about something, about a nigga that y'all barely even care. Like, Blanca don't give a fuck about Sax. And Jenny, you was beefing with Sax at the time. So it's like, he just lost his brother, and that's the first thing y'all gonna come to him about. So, like, Davis get real, like, amped. He turns around, he was like, they said his brother's name, and he just lost his brother. So he felt the way. And he knew that was gonna come back. So he was already irritated on edge. He's like, I had no knowledge of a payoff. But Sax helping my brother certainly didn't work out for Theo, did it? That's what he says to them. He pissed. Because he didn't want Theo to do what he did. And then now he just lost his brother. And I think he says later in this episode, he would have, like, it should have been him to take the charge, not Theo. Or maybe he said the last episode. I don't remember. But, so Jenny yells, Sax is dead because of you. Sax is dead because of Theo. And I was just like, are you serious right now? His brother is dead. So Davis was like, and whose fault is that? Like, whose fault is that? Exactly. Like, get on their ass. I was like, yes, Davis, get on their ass. Stop playing with him. He was like, whose fault is that? He was like, look, I don't know why Theo did what he did, but he was like, y'all should talk to the NYPD because I'm not responsible. So Jenny was like, you sure about that? No, Jenny was like, I'm not sure. She was like, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, she was like, we reviewed the footage from when you and Sax was talking with Diana. So I was just like, oh shit. I was like, he low-key did it slick, but if you slow the video down, you can basically, I mean, they don't show the video, but if you slow a video down, you would basically see him slip her a note. I don't know how else he could have did it. I mean, I was glad he did it because it worked. It threw them off their scent. It got Diana to give Sax that false narrative or whatever. But yeah, they was like, we reviewed the footage of when when you and Sax was talking with Diana. So Davis was like, that violates privilege. So Blanca was like, well, not if you don't record the audio. So I was like, damn, that's true? They can still take a video and without the audio and use it in court? That's wild as hell. Because, like, stuff can be taken out of context with a movement. I could be doing like this, but saying, I'm so happy. I could be doing like this. But I could be saying, I'm so happy right now. Like, I could be doing all this on camera and be saying, I'm so happy right now, but they'll take this movement and stuff and feel like I'm anxious or angry or something. That's wild as hell. If that's true, I don't know. But that's wild as hell. So, she was like, not if you record it without audio. So that's when Davis was like, I don't recall the meeting that much. So, Davis was like, no, she asked him. Blanca asked Davis, does he recall the meeting? Davis was like, I just talked to my client and left. And then he was like, well, how about when you spilled coffee on Sax? Because it looked like you slipped something to Diana, slipped a little note to Diana. So that's when Davis was like, I don't recall that. So Jenny was like, it was like, so they get to, spilling it all. We think you made Sax as our CI, and you had Diana feed him some bullshit story to throw us off the scent. And then you had Theo kill him. Well, that's the part where they was wrong. It's like, then you had Theo kill him, and figures Theo was dying anyway, so why not? So Davis was like, fuck you. They keep talking about his brother like his brother ain't shit, like his brother ain't just die. Jenny says, fuck you back. And says, she was like, you may not have pulled the trigger, but you're definitely responsible for Sax's death. Davis was like, I would love to see you take that to a grand jury, especially after I sue your ass for harassment. He was like, if you're looking for the person responsible for Sax's murder, you need to look in the motherfucking mirror. I was like, give it to him, Davis. Tell him. Because I was like, you probably responsible too, Jenny. Trying to take it out on them just because they criminals. Bitch, you responsible too. Had him out here doing all this reckless shit, but was still keeping them in the dark and shit about stuff. Fuck, y'all was beefing when he died. So it's just like, don't act like you so innocent, Jenny. So Braden and Tariq, they meet up. So Braden telling Tariq about Weston Holdings getting raided. He was like, you think RSJ did the whistleblowing? So Tariq was like, nah, I don't think so. Like, RSJ just wants his money. So Tariq was like, we only got one option, and that's to take Lucas out. I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Neither did Braden, because this nigga was like, what are you talking about? We not killing my uncle. So Ricky was like, it's the only way. I was like, this murderous little nigga. Like, why we gotta kill Lucas? I was like, why are we killing the only nigga that could take the blame for it? I mean, granted, he does know about their drug op, but so does Kiki. So we gonna kill Kiki too? I don't know, but anyway, so he was like, we're not killing my uncle. So Ricky was like, it's the only way. Braden was like, well, didn't you tell me family was more important than the drugs, money, and all that? He was like, I can't do that to my family. So Tariq was like, what about my family? What about my trust fund that would have covered my family after they got out of Woodsack? Now it's gone because of Lucas. And I was like, in that moment, he said something about the money covering his family after they got out of Woodsack. When was your family getting out of Woodsack? Your family can't get out of Woodsack until all the players are dead. Like Tommy, who else? 2-Bit, like, and now you're making more enemies. What are you talking about? Yeah, your family ain't getting out of Woodsack. That was weird. It ain't like you can age out of it. Like, it ain't like you turn 18 and you out of Woodsack. Because in that case, Tasha and Estelle wouldn't even be in Woodsack. But I thought that was weird when he said that, to cover my family after they get out of Woodsack. How are they getting out of Woodsack? Only that way they get out of Woodsack if all the people that are a threat to them died. So I'm like, is that Tariq's plan in the end to kill all the players? I don't know, but I be going too deep into stuff. Maybe they just be saying stuff. But he says all that, says now because of your uncle, all my money's gone. He was like, so what now, Braden? What? So he was like, so Tariq was like, Lucas has nothing else to lose. He was like, he'll snitch on our operation just to save his own ass, to cover his own ass. He was like, you was like, Brayden, look, you chose this life, and now you gotta live by the fucking rules. But yeah, that's the truth. But in this situation, I was kind of like, Tariq doing too much. I get that Lucas is a threat, but it's just like they should have been thinking of something else, so where Lucas could still take the blame. I don't know, but I mean, I get it. I get where Tariq coming from too, but whatever. So Brayden was like, here we go with this 1 foot in, 1 foot out shit bullshit. Which I get, because it's like you ain't had that same feeling when it came to Lauren, because you had feelings for her. So he was like, he was like, I don't want to end up like you, Tariq. So Tariq was like, what the fuck do that mean? So Brayden was like, I seen you change. Like, ever, you're not the same dude I met when we came at Cho. So I'm glad he brought that up, because I couldn't remember. I was like, did they meet at Cho, or did they just meet while Tariq was going to Cho? But yeah, so they did meet at Cho. So he was like, you're not the same dude that I met at Cho. Tariq was like, well, I went through life. He was like, I grew up. Like, I had no choice. So Brayden was like, I know you ain't had no choice, and I can't fault you for that. He was like, I just don't want to have to keep, like, basically, he was starting to say, I don't want to have to keep doing the killing and all, and Tariq cuts him off and was like, I kill because I have to. Got to do this shit, nigga. Like some real Bishop off juice shit. It's like, I can't even think of the damn scene right now. Is that Juice? Or am I thinking from another movie? Anyway, it was like, I got killed because I have to. So he was like, I have to. It's to protect us. To protect us. He says, you hit us, it's us. So Brayden was like, I just don't want to be the type of dude that could kill his own father, man. So Tariq walks up on him like, I never said I did that. Don't stop saying I did that shit. So I was like, what are they trying to give us in that moment? I was like, I was like, in this moment, is Tariq just saying that just to say it? Like, don't, I ain't never said I did that shit. Don't say it. Or is he really saying? Because like Brayden is like a brother to him, so I feel like he would feel comfortable enough to be like. So I'm like, is he serious in this moment? Like, did he really not shoot? Like, is they about to bring that back? Because I've been trying to avoid the spoilers online. I hate that they just be popping up out of nowhere. But I was in that moment. He says in that moment, he was like, I ain't never say I did that shit. Don't say I did that shit. So I was just like, That had my wheels turn. I was like, wait, like record stopped. Did he or did he not kill Ghost? So Bray was like, you ain't have to tell me. Like, I'm just being real with you, what you read. So Tariq was like, ain't nothing real about you. He was like, ain't nothing real about you. You a hypocrite. He was like, when you gonna step up for family? He was like, that's what you called us, right? You called us family. He was like, so what you gonna do with this family? I mean, what you gonna do for this family? So Brayden, sweet ass, he gives in. He's like, man, he was like, fuck, even if I knew where Lucas was, like, no, he was like, even if I wanted to, like, I don't know where Lucas is. So he was like, well, you got all your family's properties and money and all that. What did he say? He was like, so you find him and take him out, because it's either gonna be us or him. So I'm just like, I was like, Brayden couldn't even do the 2 jobs. He couldn't even kill Lauren. And what was the other dude that came wanted him to shoot? He was supposed to shoot somebody and make it look like it was a white dude. Brayden couldn't even do that. So what makes you think he's going to be able to kill his own uncle? But anyway, Tariq's entrusting him with that. I was just like, Tariq, you know at the end of the day, you're going to have to end up doing it yourself. And he thinks it too, as we get into it. So we at the Weston house. The whole fam bam is there. The whole family's there. So they all in a tiffy. Trace, he's spazzing out, talking about their accounts are frozen. He's like, how do our personal finances fall under the SEC's radar? I mean, their purview, or whatever you want to call it. Robert's like, they starting criminal charges against us. So Brayden's mom is there. I don't know his mom name. She says to Robert and his mom, she's like, you need to just let Lucas hang for this. She's like, you protected him long enough. You've been there for him. All that, this, that, and the third. Robert's like, well, you said everyone liked Lucas. You act like you wanted to fuck him. And his wife, I mean, Brady's mother was like, well, that was just the, what was the drink? The cola napping? Canolapin. Yeah, Canolapin. Like, that was just the Canolapin talking, whatever you want to call it. Ashley's there. She's like, really, Mom? Just the Canolapin? Trace was like, well, Mom is right. Like, fuck Uncle Trace. He left us holding the bag. So they all like, fuck Uncle Lucas. And Brayden probably in his head like, well, this makes what I got to do easier. So Brayden was like, so we have no idea where he is. He's trying to find out if somebody knows something. Like, so we have no idea where Uncle Lucas is. Ashley was like, nope. She was like, Ashley was like, no. She said that their mom sent her over to Lucas's house, tried to play the emotional niece role. Then Ashley was like, Ashley said his place was cleared out like he'd been planning to leave for a while. So Brady was like, well, can't we track his like spending through like isn't his accounts connected to Western Holdings? Isn't it linked to Western Holdings? Trace was like, well, that's the best part about like moving money and what Lucas' job was. He was making hella small transactions, undetectable, of course, for weeks. He probably got a couple of million by now. Said he probably partying in the Maldives somewhere. Side note, I want to go to the Maldives. I looked it up and I was like, ooh, look bomb as hell. Because I've heard of it before. Just thinking of birthday ideas. But I'm probably most likely going to go to San Diego for my birthday to see Corey Holcomb. Love comedians. So, favorite comedian, Martin. I got to see him 2 years ago for my birthday. So, this year I feel like Corey Holcomb. He in my top 5. So, sound lit. But Maldives sound lit too. Plus, I got to get a passport to go to Maldives. I'm going off track. Anyway. So, Robert, he's still on the fence about all this. So he was like, nothing's been proven against Lucas yet. So Brady's mom was like, wake the fuck up, Robert. He's running because he's guilty. So Robert was like, he's still my brother. I'm not just going to leave him out there. I'm just not just going to throw him under the bus. And in that moment, I was like, now we kind of see where Brayden kind of gets like his little timid ways from. Because his father still kind of cares, even though Lucas ain't give a fuck about him. And we see that later on in this episode when Brayden meets up with Lucas. So we see where Brayden kind of gets it from. So he says that, and he says, he's still my brother. I'm not just gonna throw him under the bus. Trace hits Brayden like a nut shot. It was like, well, I don't know why. I would do it to this nigga in a minute. Calls him Skid. He said, I'd do it to Skids in a minute. Probably trying to insinuate that he used to have skid marks in his drawers or something. He nut punches Brayden. Then the doorbell rings. Brayden and Trace, they start getting into it because he nut punches Brayden. But then the doorbell rings. They was like, who the fuck is that? All the men go to the door. Trace, Robert, and Brayden. Open the door. It's the FBI. They asking for Robert. They was like, we need you to just come and answer some questions down at the station. Robert was like, all right, I'll have my attorneys meet us there. He was like, lead the way, officers. Brady was like, Dad, you don't have to do this. And I was just like, damn, Robert about to take the fall for it. Robert was like, if not me, then who, son? He was like, sometimes doing the hard thing is the only thing we can do. And I was like, damn, Robert about to really about to really hold the bag for Lucas. But in a way, Lucas ain't letting that happen. Oh, no. Never mind. Oh, never mind I said that part. I said Lucas ain't letting that happen. Scratch that part. But yeah, Robert about to hold the bag for Lucas. That's fucked up, bro. And it's crazy because Robert ain't have no idea. He was not even in the know. And then you got your son comes in with his friend, start selling drugs and stuff. So, now we get to sing again back in the little workroom. Blanca, Jenny, the agent dude, and Medina. Medina walks in. He was like, you guys don't want to hear this. So Lucas puts the phone on speaker, and it's fucking Lucas. And as soon as I heard Lucas' voice, he was like, and Medina was like, go ahead, Mr. Weston. I said, bruh, you have got to be kidding. I already knew what was about to happen. I already knew what was about to happen. A part of this I didn't see coming, but I already knew what this was about to, like, what this conversation was about to entail. So Lucas was like, he was like, my attorneys have informed me that the SEC is investigating a Ponzi scheme that's happening at Western Holdings. He's like, they seem to think that I'm on the run because I had something to do with it. He was like, but that's not the case at all. So Blanca was like, so you went into hiding because you were afraid of the person that's responsible? And you afraid that they'll come after you? So Lucas was like, well, it's not just them. It's like, he was like, not only do I know who's behind the Ponzi scheme, I also have intel of a drug ring operation within Western Holdings. He was like, I reached out to the DEA and they told me that you guys were the agents I should talk to. So Medina was like, so what do you have in mind? So Lucas was like, I want protection and immunity. I was just like, So Blanca puts Lucas on hold. Yeah. So Blanca puts Lucas on hold, right? Where am I? God damn it. I'll be glad when I do get them glasses. So Blanca was like, this motherfucker lying. He'll say anything. He was like, this motherfucker lying. She was like, this motherfucker lying because him and Robert are at the top of the food chain. He got to be involved in the Ponzi scheme. So Medina was like, well, even so, he could give us the intel we need for the RICO. So Jenny immediately gets up, takes that bitch off hold, announces herself, I'm assistant DA. I don't think I knew that. I feel like we hear that word so many times. Ain't Blanca DA? Who is Medina? I don't know. Or is Blanca DEA? Oh no, Blanca's DEA. That's what it is. She must be like head of DEA. And Medina's her boss. Okay, so Jenny gets on the phone, announces herself, assistant DA. She's like, if you want immunity, we're gonna need a little, basically like we need a little sneak peek of what you know before we can just give you all this, what you asking for, protection, immunity, all that. So Lucas was like, well, look in the crash coin, and then hangs up. He was like, look in the crash coin, I'll be in touch, and hangs up. So I'm just like, uh-oh. But at the same time, that's just Braden. Braden could just say he created the shit again. But I feel like this time Braden to be going down. So Medina was like, well, if Lucas is, because Lucas done got off the phone at this point, and Medina was like, if Lucas' intel plan pans out, we can get the whole drug network. So Effie was like, I said Effie. So Jenny was like, now we just need someone to flip on the baddies. Blanca was like, well, how about we tell Effie that we shutting down the drug operation and then offer her a lifeline if she flips on the bodies. So I was just like, y'all can try that, but Effie not gonna go for that dumb shit. She's not gonna go for that. So Kiki packing up, trying to get out of Dodge. Brady was like, where you going? I mean, where you going? I was like, good riddance. Let her go. She was like, onion like you, I don't have lawyers and white privilege, so my best option is to just run. Brady was like, well, for how long? It's like, this is what you wanted? So Kiki, she was like all sarcastic. She's like, of course, Brady. And I wanted all the sacrifices my parents made to send me to school so I can run to Toronto and work at McDonald's. That's exactly what I wanted. So Brady was like, I'm serious. And Kiki was like, I'm serious too. He's like, my parents are good people. So Brayden feels remorse. I mean, not remorse. He feels sad. He feels sorry for, is it remorse? Maybe remorse. He feels sorry for Kiki. Yeah, so Kiki was like, my parents are good people. Brayden was like, so are you. And Kiki was like, no, I'm not. I'm a part of a fucking Ponzi. Kiki was like, she was like, I'll be crucified when this comes out. Brayden was like, well, why get involved in the first place? I was like, exactly. She was like, well, when she first started, Lucas was the only one that paid attention to her and made her feel like she was an equal. But now she realized that was all bullshit. He was just using her and all that. I was like, okay, whatever. They using the little awestruck intern excuse, whatever you want to call it. So Brady was like, so why protect him? Like she was like, why? He was like, why protect him? He was like, he gonna turn you in if you don't turn him in first. Kiki was like, I can't do that to my parents. Go to the police, go to the feds. So that's when Brady was like, what if I make all this go away without you being a part of it? Will you tell me? He was like, I promise I won't betray you like Lucas. She's like, how can you promise me that? I was just like, bitch, you shouldn't be asking no questions right now, no hows, what, whatever. He willing to get you off the hook after you betrayed him, bitch. I don't know. I don't like Kiki. I'm mad because she betrayed me. Usually I can spot a bitch that I ain't gonna like on the show, but she had me thinking I was gonna like her. And I was mad because I didn't. I don't like her now. So Brady was like, just trust me, please. So Drew and Kane, they outside the Castillo's place. They locking all the exits and stuff. And closing all the vents in the windows. Cutting off the air supply in there. Whatever they doing or whatever. So then you see all the Castillos, Evelyn and all them, they starting to cough and passing out and stuff. So I was like, oh, so this how they about to do it? They about to just kill them off the deadly gas? I was like, that's crazy as hell, but that's smart ass way. It's less bloody. Because I was like, it's going to be a bloodbath, but no. They did it a completely different way. So Drew and Kane, they outside listening a little bit, waiting to hear the bodies drop or whatever. They hear all them drop. They come in. They put these gas masks on and they come inside. Evelyn's still a little bit, she ain't dead yet. She's still a little breathing a little bit. So Drew bends down to her, takes his mask off. I was like, don't y'all need the mask so y'all won't pass out too? I guess the gas disintegrates after a matter of moment. I don't know, but he takes his mask off. That's when I knew that they was killing him. Because first I thought they were just knocking him out and then was going to do something to him. But that's when I knew they was killing him because he took his mask off. And I feel like he wouldn't have took that risk. So everyone was like, why, Drew? Drew was like, I'm sorry about Gordo. I didn't have a choice. So that's when Evelyn was like, it was Monet. Monet wanted Lorenzo dead. So Drew like what? Tells Drew that. And I'm like, you got to believe her because why would she... Out of all things, why would she have that be her last final words? Why would those be her final words? If she knew about, like, she already knew about Gordo, so she let that come out before she died. So you know she telling the truth. So Drew, he holds her nose and mouth to suffocate her, so she dies. What if they didn't kill her? Well, yeah, they did. They killed her. So Kane walks up. Drew was like, did she say anything? Drew was like, nah. I knew Drew wasn't going to tell Kane. He don't be trusting this shit. It's sad they don't even trust each other. They supposed to be family. None of them trust each other. So Tariq gets a text from somebody named Pinky. And I was like, who the hell is Pinky? Is this somebody new that they going to introduce? But we find out later it's just a PI. So he gets a text from Pinky. And it says, your boy's headed to a condo in Tribeca. So I was assuming he was talking about Lucas. So Tariq was like, text me location. I'm going to meet you there. So Diana pops up in Tariq. And remember Monet was like, go find out what you can find out about Tariq. Is he hot? Is he not? Whatever. So she was like, I want to know why I got busted. No, she was like, I got busted because you told me about the lockers. So Tariq was like, oh, I ain't even know about them cameras. I ain't been up there all semester. Which I knew. I was like, I knew he ain't been up there. He ain't know nothing about that. And Diana was like, why would you send me up there then? I was like, that's kind of true though. Because Diana didn't know that those were the lockers y'all was using for course correct. Because she wasn't going to Stansville at the time. So I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So Tariq was like, well, I did it because she was like, why would you send me up there then? He was like, well, I did it because you said you needed help. But you know, he was like, but you knew Stansville was hot. He's Like, you gotta do your due diligence. Come on now. I was like, this nigga Tariq trying to be funny a little bit this episode. Like, he told Tate, that sounds like a you problem. But anyway, I was like, okay, Michael, I see you, Michael Rainey. But Diana was like, that's not fair. It's like, Noma has a photo of me, and my family needed me. I'm sorry, that Diana just can't act. It just sounds like she reading off a script. So Tariq was like, look, Noma got pictures of my family too. He was like, that's why when I found out Sax was a CI, I put together a plan to protect you, didn't I? So Diana was like, oh, so you're not working with the feds. So Tariq was like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you just say that I was working with the feds? He was like, why would you think I was working with the feds after what the fuck they did to my sister and my mother? I mean, after what they did to my mother. After me and my mother. So Diana was like, oh, I'm sorry. Monet just got in my head. She got my head all fucked up. She's like, I need to get away from her and from the game. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I put LOL non-acting ass. So she was like, I need to get away from her and the game and the life. I was just like, bruh. But, so then she was like, if I transfer out of state, where would that leave us? So of course I feel like Diana be playing this ditzy ass dumb girl sometimes. Cause she was like, I was like, oh, so you just gonna fall for it that quick? Cause like, what if he actually was working with the feds and you just let that one little thing he said about after what they did to my mother, you just let that be like, oh, so you're not working with the feds? I was like, damn, you that easily bought? Like you buy it that easily? And then in this moment, I was like, you really thinking about the relationship? Talking about something where they at that moment, I forgot that they was even back like talking or whatever. I feel like in Tariq's mind, he probably just fucking because I feel like he still probably got feelings for Effie. I don't know. But she was like, where does that leave us? So all in this moment, I'm thinking Diana just being airhead Diana. So Tariq was like, well, after this Effie shit, to Diana was like, I'm not Effie. Tariq was like, oh, I know that. In some ways, they kind of are similar, Diana and Effie. They more similar than Lauren is to them. Tariq was like, I know you're not Effie, but it don't matter. He said something else. And then he gets a call from RSJ. He was like, I got to take this call. So Diana leaves out. Whew. Excuse me. Tariq answered his phone. RSJ was like, when was you going to tell me that Tate blew the whistle on, to the SCC? So, Tariq didn't know who was the one that blew the whistle. He just met up with Brady and they was trying to figure out who it was. So Tate was like, Tariq was like, Tate did what? He was like, fuck, don't worry, I'm going to handle it, RSJ. RSJ was like, you better, and hangs up on him. So Tariq leaves his dorm room, and Diana sneaks back in. So I was like, okay, the little sneaky bitch. She was just saying all this stuff just to make him seem like she wasn't suspicious no more, and then she snuck right back in his damn place. So she starts going through his stuff, and of course she finds the goddamn file that he took from Davis, that's on Lorenzo, from Whitman's file, whatever. So she takes it to the penthouse. No, does she take it to the penthouse? Oh, no, I don't think she takes it to the penthouse. She probably took a picture of it, or anyway, she brings this information to Drew at the penthouse. And Diana was like, why would Lorenzo's prints be at the scene of Zeke's murder? So Drew and Diana start figuring it out. Drew was like, Drew was like, could Lorenzo have had something to do with Zeke's murder? And Diana was like, well, absolutely not. And Drew was like, well, that would explain the prints. And if Monet found out, Diana was like, well, how would she find out, and from whom? And Drew was like, she found out from Tariq. That's who she found out from. She's like, why else would she have that file? I mean, why else would Tariq have that file? So Drew was like, Tariq told Monet about Lorenzo, and Monet got Gordo all riled up and had him kill Lorenzo. Well, this whole scene, Drew and Diana are calling Lorenzo Poppy. But you know, I'm not about to call a nigga Poppy. Cause I ain't Spanish and it ain't a nigga I'm fucking. I don't know, Poppy just make me cringe. I don't know. But this whole thing they call him Poppy, but I'm gonna be calling him Lorenzo. So he's like, found out, Monet got Gordo all riled up to kill and convinced him to kill Lorenzo. And convinced him, he got Gordo all riled up and convinced him that Lorenzo was responsible for Frank's death. He's like, he tells Diana that Evelyn told Evelyn told him that Monet wanted Lorenzo dead. So Diana was like, you know, Monet's fucked up, but that's a lot even for her. She was like, you said it yourself. That Lorenzo told Monet that IG killed Zeke. So then Kane comes in and was like, Monet didn't believe that shit. She's like, she knew. He was like, she knew it was a lie. So that's when Drew and Diana was like, you knew this whole time. Drew was like, that's why Lorenzo let you, what did he say? He was like, that's why Lorenzo was letting you call the shots and all that. Because you knew he killed Zeke. So Diana was like, why would Lorenzo kill Zeke? So Kane, you know, he tells him it was a mistake. He thought he was Mecca and all that. So Diana was like, do y'all really think Monet had Lorenzo killed? Kane was like, it's a big fucking possibility. He's like, when I brought it up to her, she threatened to kill me too. I was just like, I remember that scene. That was one of the best acting scenes that Monet had of all the 3 seasons. You think I'm gonna do it to you next? But yeah, so Diana was like, oh, if she threatened to kill Kane, what would be stopping her from killing us too? So all the Tejada kids feeling away. They go to confront Monet immediately. So she's like, I didn't know y'all was coming. If y'all knew y'all was coming, I would have made y'all some food. I was like, girl, you don't even know what you about to be in for. So they come in, they was like, we know about the fingerprints. She was like, what fingerprints? They was like, we not about to do this. Drew was like, I'm not about to do this lying bullshit. Monet was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Drew? She already like, what did you spazzing out for? So Drew was like, I killed Gordo for you and the entire Castillo family. And you gonna sit here and lie? You've been lying to me about who killed Lorenzo? So Monet tried to start to say, it was Kai and Gordo. Drew slammed the table. He slammed the counter and was like, shut the fuck up, Monet. I was like, oh shit, they not playing with her ass. And I was like, in this scene, I was like, is they about to kill Monet? I was like, bruh, are they about to kill her? I was really wondering, because it was all the kids there. I was like, are they about to kill her? But he was like, shut the fuck up, Monet. So Monet was like, I'm done with all your lying bullshit. Monet was like, no, you shut the fuck up. This is my house. She was like, this is my house. You gonna talk to me like that? She looks to Kane, like, what the fuck, Kane? Kane was like, don't. He was like, don't even come over here with that. What'd he say? He was like, he was like, Kane was like, part of me would never wanted to believe that you was evil enough to kill our father. He was like, well, I don't know why not. Like, you so fucked up. He was like, I lied, stole, dropped bodies for you. He's like, I did everything you asked. And you would turn my back on me for Tariq. I was like, oh, here we go. This is what Kane ass just had to bring up Tariq. They was getting somewhere until he brought up Tariq. It was supposed to be about her killing their father. Tariq ain't had nothing to do with that. Only thing Tariq did was came with the information about IG actually being in the Dominican Republic. So he couldn't have killed Zeke. So I was just like, that's the only thing Tariq is responsible for, bringing that info back to Monet. But he brings up Tariq, of course. He was like, you let Tariq ruin our lives. Monet was like, oh, so that's what this is about, Tariq. I was like, see, you just changed the whole damn narrative of what they was trying to get at. He was like, she was like, is that who's feeding y'all these lies? Tariq. Diana was like, this isn't about Tariq. She's like, you know the truth. She was like, it's the truth. Monet was like, well, if it's the truth, that means y'all just giving Lorenzo a pass for killing Zeke. And I was just like, bruh, first of all, it was an accident. Second of all, that's their father. But you know Monet, she go by the street code. She ain't switching up. Ain't no switching up. Shorty play with me. Ain't no switching up. What's that secretly song? I don't know the lyrics. But yeah. She ain't switching up, but so she was like, y'all just gonna give Lorenzo a pass. So Dan was like, it was an accident. Like you should know that. Monet was like, how y'all know it was an accident? So she started telling them all the shit Lorenzo was doing. She was like, Diana, Lorenzo didn't even want you in the house because he knew you was a little nosy bitch. He was like, you think he sent you to Stansville because he loved you? He was like, the moment he needed, he was like, what'd he say? He was like, the minute he could, he was using your dumb ass to sling weight again. And I knew that shit was suspicious because he didn't even want her at Stansville being near Tariq and all that. And then out of nowhere, he just told her she can enroll. And I was like, why not send her to any other college? But why Stansville? So I knew it was something with that when that first happened, when he first brought that to Diana. But yeah, she was like, yeah, soon as the minute he could, he had your dumb ass slinging, and look where it got you and all that. So Drew was telling Diana, don't listen to her. So Monet was like, y'all making Lorenzo to be out like some saint. He was like, Drew, you don't even know that when he was trying to convince me that the Guapos killed Zeke, he had them beat you up. That's who he hired to beat you up and all that. He telling Drew that. Drew don't say nothing. He's like, y'all always screaming. She was like, y'all always screaming family first, but Lorenzo ain't give a fuck about Zeke. He was like, all the lies that he was telling, the memorial, he was like, it was all bullshit to cover his own ass. He was like, even though he saw how much I was going through it and losing my mind over losing Zeke. She was like, I would have did the same thing if it was any one of y'all. Dan was like, do you hear yourself? You took our father from us. She's like, did you think about that? Oh no, because you only think about yourself. As usual. So Drew started to starts to fake hold Diana back. Like I said, Diana and Monet could not act to me. So this whole little scene, I mean, Kane was just standing there looking fine as hell after he said what he said. He was just standing there looking fine as hell. Drew interjects here and there, but Drew was playing his role. Drew, he a good actor. I don't know his real name. But Drew, he doing his thing. Woody, he just standing there looking fine, doing his thing, whatever. But Diana and Monet, I just can't. They just don't act that good to me. So she was like, Drew was like, nah, let the little bitch go. I was just like, Diana was like, all this time you tried to blame me for Zeke's death, make me feel bad or whatever, but it was really your fault. She was like, you the one who killed everything good in this family. First Zeke and now our father. She was like, if anybody should be dead, it should be your ass. So Monet started charging. Diana Drew starts holding Monet back. Monet was like, get the fuck off me. Don't you ever put your hands on me. Started beating the shit out of Drew. She's like, all y'all get the fuck out. So they all leave. So Tariq meets up with Pinky, the PI. PI was like, well, Braden's inside. He been in there. She was like, I've been watching him all day. She darts her eyes to the building, was like, Braden's in there. Tariq was like, all right, thanks, pays Pinky off. He puts on some black gloves, so I'm like, oh, this is definitely where Lucas is. So he about to just have to go handle it himself. I was like, he about to go try and handle it himself. Because, Tariq doesn't believe, my shoulder hurting. Tariq doesn't believe that Braden's going to do it. Nobody believed Braden going to do it. At this point, he ain't followed through on none of the stuff he was supposed to do in the past. So nobody believing that Braden going to follow through on this. So Lucas says, so Braden pops up on Lucas. So Lucas surprised, like, Kiki must have told you where I was. I won't lie. I underestimated your charm, Braden. Didn't think Kiki was going to fall for you. So Braden was like, can we just leave Kiki out of this so I can help you? So he was like, he tells Lucas, like, just sign this letter taking liability of the Ponzi scheme, and then we can get you out of the country. And Lucas was like, oh, save me the knight in shining army bullshit. Ooh, excuse me. He was like, you know better than me. It might be worse. Brady was like, this isn't about me. He's like, you got the resources, God, Lucas. Just sign the damn letter. He's He's like, this will clear your, he's like, this sign the whole letter so you can clear the rest of the family. You can set yourself up somewhere you can set yourself up somewhere in a country with, in a non-extradition country where you'll be protected from the feds or anyone else that'll come out, that want to come after you. So Lucas was like, well, what if I get bored? And Braden's like, are you fucking kidding me? And they walk out to this big ass, I want to say, is it a balcony? Because the bitch was like the size of a parking lot. Walk out on this big ass parking lot shaped balcony. Lucas was like, why would I want to give all this up? I was like, I feel him. Because I was like, look at this big ass balcony. He's like, why would I want to give all this up to live in some third world shithole? So Braden was like, because despite everything my dad, he was like, despite everything, my dad still thinks you're worth something. You're worth protecting. And then in this moment, Lucas was like, oh, your dad. Oh, what a nice guy. He's like, I think that's why I dislike him so much. And I was just like, look at the way Lucas treating Robert, but Robert ready to hold the bag for Lucas. So I was like, that's crazy. But man, where am I? Lucas was like, look, I stole a couple million from some pigs that was fattening their already fat pockets, fat wallets. He was like, big deal. He's like, some people would call that justice. I mean, so Brady was like, can you just listen to me? And Lucas was like, I am listening, but I'm not scared. He was like, I am listening. I'm not scared of your little ghetto ass friends. When he said that, I thought something was about to happen in that moment. Because it was like one of those moments where you think something about to pop out. I thought Tariq was going to pop out when he said, I'm not scared of your little ghetto ass friends. And then Tariq come out, boop, or something. I don't know, but nothing happens in that moment. So he's like, I'm not scared of your little ghetto ass friends. He was like, when are you going to get it? He was like, I hold all the cards. He was like, white collar crime is a nuisance, but drug dealing, that's a whole different story. He was like, Braden was like, if you hurt me and Tariq, the Fed's still going to come after you. And I was like, not if he got that immunity deal, unfortunately. But he was like, they still going to come after you. So what's the point? So Lucas was like, well, not if I pin the Ponzi on Robert and Kiki. He was like, they'll take the fall along with you and Tariq. Lucas was like, the difference between me and you, I would never take the blame for something when I can just pin it on someone else. I was like, he should be saying I'm like Robert. But I was just like, damn. He ready to give his brother up. I was like, that's wild as hell. I was like, at this point, he do deserve to die. He ready to give up his innocent brother who had no idea about this shit. So I was like, yeah, yeah. So he says all that, and Braden pushes his ass off the balcony. And I was like, finally, big Braden. I was like, finally, Braden, you finally followed through with something. Imagine you just did it out of anger and you regretted it immediately after you did it. But I was like, finally, Braden, finally. You followed through with something. Crazy that it was your own. It's crazy he couldn't do it when it was strangers. I mean, Lauren wasn't a stranger to him. It's kind of his friend. But it's crazy when you couldn't do it to people that wasn't even your relative, but you. I was like, okay, finally, Braden finally did something. So Kane ass pops up on Effie ass, pretending to be her attorney. And she's like, why the fuck are you, like, what are you doing here? Like, you crazy? You can get in trouble for this. So Kane was like, relax, they don't record audio. He was like, we good. He was like, plus Davis told me to come chop it up with you. He was like, so don't start acting funny and blow my cover. And I was like, you know, Woody already fine. So he coming there with that suit, glasses on. I was like, okay, baby. Okay. But, so, Kane was like, what's up, baby? I thought you'd be happy to see me. Effie was like, why? Because we fucked once. And I was like, damn. I was like, I mean, I get it. She pissed because she in jail right now. But, like, he sent Davis for you. So Kane was like, don't do that. Because I remember it being a lot of times. And I was just like, he's so annoying, but he's so fine. So Effie was like, it don't matter. She was like, why are you here? So Kane was like, look, they're not going to go easy on you. He was like, they're not going to go easy on you if Lauren points you out in the lineup. I was like, she basically already pointed her out. Like, pulled up on her in the SVU and was like, yes, that's the bitch that tried to kill me. So Effie was like, don't you think I know that already? Kane was like, so flip on Tariq. So, you know, Kane don't fuck with Tariq, and now he trying this angle to get Tariq out. And I was like, this is a wild ass angle to play. Cause Tariq got dirt on your dumb ass too, Kane. But you know Tariq ain't the type of nigga that ain't gonna do that. So he was like, flip on Tariq. He was like, they want him anyway. They don't even really want you. He was like, I already figured out what you could say so Tariq could take all the heat. So Effie was like, I ain't even built like that. I was like, Effie's solid. I like Effie. I hate what she did to Tariq at Cho, but she's solid though. She was like, I ain't even built like that. Came like, so you gonna go to prison? He was like, you risk all of us going away for Tariq? He's like, when I'm the one here that got your back. He just mad all the women in his life is still fucking with Tariq. But how you gonna get mad? You got her from Tariq. You know she still got feelings to Tariq. Those feelings can't just go away. So he was like, after all that, and I'm the one here that got your back. After he was like, I didn't ask you to have my back. She was like, it ain't about you or Tariq. It's about me making the choice for myself. So Kane was like, what the fuck? He was like, this is not the time to play hard, Effie. He was like, this could work out for both of us if you just listen. So Effie was like, there is no us. She was like, and I'm not playing. So Kane feeling the way. He like, it ain't no us, huh? So she was like, get the fuck out of here. My lawyer should be coming in here any moment. And I was like, ooh, is we about to see who her lawyer is? But they never showed. Kane was like, fuck you, and leaves. Effie kind of smirks. So I'm just like, did she want to be beefing with Kane? But then we get 2-Bit ass pops back up. I'm like, where the hell he been at? So this nigga gets a letter from Saxe too. He pops up on Tariq saying he got a letter from Saxe about his beef, saying that Saxe knew about his beef with Ghost. So Saxe sent 2-Bit the information on Tasha. But mind you, Saxe don't even realize that 2-Bit and Tariq, even though they got this little tiff, 2-Bit and Tariq still got an understanding. So he comes to Tariq with this information. He was like, what did he say? He was like, I want 100K on top of what you already owe me. Because maybe he came to Tariq about the money first time and then ended up killing that boy in the pool. So he had to step off for a little while. So he's like, I want 100K on top of what you already owe me. And Tariq was like, man, oh my God. He was like, I ran through all my liquid right now. He was like, I could probably give you some weapons and some product on top of that. But right now, that's as much as I can do. He was like, the plug got us diversifying the product. Diversifying the portfolio. 2-Bit was like, well, I want the keys to your car. And I was like, damn, poor Tariq, he just got that car. We just got a car. He was like, you could take mine though, and gives Tariq his keys. So I was like, at least Tariq don't not have a car now. But he just don't have the car that he bought. So I was like, Tariq got a different car now. So he was like, you take it or leave it. He was like, that got to be worth knowing where your people stand at, where your mother stand at. He was like, it's an offer you can't refuse. He was like, unless you want somebody to shoot your moms. I was just like, they just had to give that little bit to 2-Bit. He do not care. So 2-Bit, he hops in the car and rolls out. Ugh. I'm stretching and all that. I need some coffee. Definitely gonna put coffee on after this review. So Tariq, he calls Tamika, you know, the lawyer that he had before Davis. Was she Davis? Was she Tariq's lawyer or was she Ghost's lawyer? She might have been Ghost's lawyer or Tasha's lawyer. I don't remember. But he calls her and tells her, he was like, I think somebody know my mom's location. So Tamika was like, that's impossible. She was like, but if you feel so worried about it, I could send some protection over there in the morning. I could call the marshals in the morning. And Tariq was like, nah, I need to send some protection over there now. He was like, please. Tamika was like, okay, I'll call him right now. So that information from 2-Bit panned out. Tariq pulls up to the house where Estelle, Tasha, and Yasmin are staying. He's sitting in the distance. She's sitting in the distance. He sees Estelle and Tasha there. They outside with groceries talking about Yasmin somewhere or something like that. So then Yasmin runs up. She looked the exact same. She runs up to Tariq, though. She sees Tariq. She's so excited to see him. She's like, oh, wait till Big Mama and Mama see you and all that. So then Tariq sees a car pull up. He tells her, duck down. Like, tells Yasmin, stay down, stay down. Car pulls up. Dude gets out. We don't see who the dude is at first. Gets out, pops the 2 agents, walks inside. Tasha and Estelle, they still in the kitchen going at it. They none the wiser. Estelle, she walks out. Then Tommy comes in, pointing the gun at Tasha. I was like, Tommy, okay. I was like, we got Tommy in this joke. I did not expect to see Tommy. I was kind of mad at Tommy because he had this little tiff, his actual self. What's his real name? What the fuck is Tommy's real name? I forget, but he had this little beef. I don't want to say beef, but he had this little tiff with Braden in real life. Giovanni Poyavolo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Gianano. How you pronounce Braden's real name? Whatever. They had this little tiff, and I didn't like it. And I felt like it was Tommy's fault. I was like, you hating on the young blood. But of course I love Tommy and his character or whatever. He come in, pointing the gun at Tommy. Tasha was like, Tommy. She was like, oh. She was like, what are you doing here? Hold her hands up. She's like, you just going to shoot me with Yaz and Big Mama outside? Tommy's like, well, I got the silence on. They won't hear a thing. I was like, oh, I miss Tommy, man. I miss his little witty-ass comments and shit. So Tariq, he sneaks in. He's sneaking in. Tommy got the gun on Tasha. Tasha backing up. And they pan the screen to a gun that's under the table. And I'm just like, Tasha, I know you ain't about to try to go for that. Because Tommy going to get your ass before you even try to reach for that jump. I was like, I don't even know. I hope she don't even try that. But she backing up like she going to try it. So she asking questions like, how did you find me? So that's when Tommy reveals that Monet. So I was like, wow, okay. And I was like, good thing Tariq got that foul. He could use that now on her ass if he wanted to. But you know, Tariq probably not the type of nigga that gets, well, I don't know. But anyway, so he was like, Monet gave me that. He was like, I guess she just wanted to get on my good side, or she finally realized that your son was the seed of the devil. And I was just like, that's why we miss Tommy, man. And Tariq listening to all this out there, looking like the seed of the devil. So Tasha was like, please don't do this. Then Tariq comes out, pointing the gun at Tommy. That catches Tommy off guard completely. Tommy's like, what are you doing here, Tariq? So Tasha was like, okay, this needs to stop, y'all. We just need to put the guns down. She says to Tommy, like, Tommy, you know we the only family you got left. Tommy was like, get the fuck out of here with that family shit. Fuck out of here with that family shit. He was like, family don't snitch or kill or turn on their own. Tariq was like, look, none of us wanted that shit, man, but I promise you. He was like, I promise you, Uncle Tommy, I would put a bullet in you to protect my mother. To stop you from killing my mother. I was like, okay, Tariq, I feel you. Tommy was like, oh, you think you think you finally gonna kill me, huh? He was like, well, you did it to Ghost, so I guess pulling the trigger on me would be nothing to you. And I was like, see, that's the second time this episode that they didn't brought that up. So I'm wondering what episode 10 about to entail, because is they about to tell us that somebody else killed Ghost? Or is they about to tell us that Ghost is still alive? I seen somebody post that saying that Ghost came back alive or something. But I don't believe that. Because they done said numerous times. Even the writer, Courtney Kemp, I think her name Courtney Kemp, even she said that he's dead. And even Amari just did a recent interview saying that they would have to pay him the right amount of money to come back, but they didn't offer the right amount of money that he wanted. He said it subtly, though. He didn't say it exactly like that. He said it in a more subtle way. But basically, I took it as they ain't pay him enough money to come back. But this is the second time they done said something about Tariq shooting Ghost. So he was like, you killed your father. I guess killing me would be nothing to you. So then one of the agents that Tommy thought he killed, I guess he came to and rushes in the house and catches Tommy off guard. So Tommy turns to shoot him. And when he does that, I guess shots go off and then he turns back to Tariq. And then they cut the scene. So we don't really know what happened, but we hear the shots go off. So I'm like, somebody got shot. We don't know who, whatever. So then we get Tariq waking up in the hospital. Tamika's there. She comes and tells him what happened. She tells him he got somebody hit him in the back of the head. He got a head injury. So Tamika was like that Tariq's grandmother, Estelle, called the marshals, and they came to find the 2 marshal agents dead, and Tariq passed out on the floor. Tamika says that Estelle said that a man came in threatening Tasha. So Tamika was like, do you know who the man was, Tariq? So that's when Tariq, he trying to ignore that question. He's like, where is my mother? What happened to my mother? Where is she? So Tamika was like, unfortunately, I thought she was about to say Tasha died. I was like, oh, so she took one of them bullets. But Tasha was like, well, unfortunately, Tasha's missing. She was like, Yaz and Estelle are okay, are safe. So that's how I knew it was Tommy, because like he ain't gonna touch Yaz and Estelle. He ain't got nothing against them. So he was like, but the authorities are out there looking for her. They have no leads so far. He tells her, but it's possible whoever was the man that was threatening her probably came in and took her. She was like, I'm so sorry, Tariq. And I was just like, damn. But that's why I say I graded this episode an A+, because we got to see Tommy and Tasha. And we got the, Sax was sending out all these letters. Effie super solid. We found out Effie got her own attorney. There was a whole bunch of good shit in this episode. So that's why I said I give it an A+. Predictions for the finale. I wonder who Effie's attorney is going to be. That's who I wonder. I wonder who Effie's attorney is going to be. Now that Tariq knows that Monet was the one that gave Tommy the information on Tasha, now what is he going to do with that? I wonder what he's going to do with that. They really ain't got too much on Effie except for Lauren's ID. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. Dang, the whole Castillo family died. That was another reason why I gave it A+. They killed a whole generation, bloodline. But yeah, what else? I did see a comment. Somebody said Dirty Diana. So I feel like Diana probably gonna do some stupid shit. But I don't expect nothing less from Diana. But yeah, those are my predictions for this finale. Not too many. And I definitely think it's something. I think we're gonna get something about who killed Ghost or something in this finale too. That's what I feel like. But yeah, those are my predictions for this finale. Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. And comment below what you thought of the episode, what you thought about what I talked about, if I missed anything or was off on anything, or what you would grade the episode, all that good stuff. Just comment below, all that good stuff. And like the video and subscribe to my channel. I will see y'all in the next review. I got 2 more reviews to do after this. Somebody gonna make me a cup of coffee so I can be up. And I gotta move quickly because I still gotta go pick up my glasses, or I'm gonna have to wait till Monday because they close on the weekends. But yeah, let me get up out of here so I can stop talking. All right, peace.